At the pinnacle of power, where wisdom interlocked with glory, stands a man who once walked hand in hand with God, now confronting the abyss of his own being. Solomon, the wisest king, the man whose intellect outshone gold, wages a silent war, an unseen battle between the faith that once underpinned his throne and the encroaching shadows threatening to topple it. But how can someone who has been bestowed with the gift of wisdom lose faith? What was the cost of this downfall? And what can their story reveal to us about the perils that threaten our own faith today in a world rife with distractions and challenges? Get ready to uncover the secrets behind Solomon's downfall and the enduring lesson he imparted to us all. A tale spanning millennia, yet more relevant today than ever. Solomon stands as one of the most captivating and controversial figures in biblical history. Revered as the wisest man to ever live, he ascended to the throne of his father, burdened with a colossal responsibility. Yet contrary to popular belief, his journey was not solely defined by glory and spiritual triumph. There was a pivotal moment in his life where he lost the faith that underpinned his entire existence. Comprehending the reasons behind this lapse is crucial for us today, for just as he did, we too confront challenges that can shake our most profound convictions. Upon assuming the reins of government, Solomon exhibited a profound connection with God. Unlike many leaders who crave power or opulence, he yearned for a wise heart, capable of discerning and governing his people equitably. This selection served as a beacon of humility and spiritual discernment. God, in response to his fervent supplication, bestowed upon him unparalleled wisdom, coupled with prosperity and renown. His kingdom flourished, becoming a paragon of knowledge, justice, and affluence throughout the realm. Despite this auspicious beginning, Solomon embarked on a path that would lead him away from the faith that had once guided him. He immersed himself in foreign cultures and religions through his numerous marriages. While these political alliances were common in his era for bolstering the king's standing, they exacted a heavy toll on his spiritual life. Solomon's wives and concubines brought with them deities and religious practices that were at odds with the worship of God. Over time, these influences began to erode his genuine devotion, compelling him to erect altars to other gods and to stray from the simplicity and purity of his initial faith. It is striking to observe that even with all his wisdom, Solomon succumbed to the temptations that power and wealth offered. Excess, cultural influence, and personal pride formed a perilous combination that led him astray from the spiritual path. What had begun as a sincere pursuit of wisdom evolved into a life marred by compromises that strained his relationship with God. This spiritual decline had devastating consequences not only for him, but for the entire kingdom he ruled. Solomon's journey serves as a powerful warning for us all, particularly in our modern times. What lessons can we glean from this king who began so auspiciously and ultimately strayed from his own principles? First and foremost, we must understand that faith is not a static state, but rather a continuous cultivation. It is not enough to begin with noble intentions or fleeting moments of fervor. Unwavering daily dedication, thoughtful decision-making, and resilience against influences that may weaken us are essential. Another crucial aspect is the influence of companies and the environments in which we live. Solomon was surrounded by diverse cultures and traditions that gradually diverted his spiritual focus. Today, we too are inundated with information, ideologies, and lifestyles that can distance us from what truly matters. This does not imply that we should reject the world around us, but that we must cultivate discernment to choose what nourishes our souls and fortifies our faith. Furthermore, the story of Solomon reminds us that human knowledge and wisdom, in and of themselves, are insufficient to sustain a life of unwavering faith. He possessed wisdom in governance, yet lacked the wisdom to safeguard his heart from temptation. This compels us to contemplate the paramount importance of not solely relying on our intellect or abilities, but rather of cultivating a consistent and authentic connection with God, the ultimate source of true wisdom. If you're here watching this video, I'd like to extend a special invitation. Reflect with me on the most profound influence in your life today. What voices or cultures consume the majority of your time and attention? Are they fortifying your faith or leading you away from it? If you feel inclined, share in the comments something that has resonated with you so far, or recount a situation where you realized the need to nurture your spirituality. Your story could inspire someone else navigating the same challenge. Oh, and if you haven't already joined our community, consider subscribing to the channel. Here, together, we seek to learn, grow, and strengthen our faith without judgment and with unwavering truth. Will you join us on this journey? Returning to the story of Solomon, it is crucial to emphasize that his downfall was not an isolated incident, but the culmination of a series of choices that progressively distanced him from God. Over time, he began to prioritize his wealth, grandiose constructions, and the acclaim of the nations above his intimate connection with the Creator. While he erected magnificent temples and palaces, he simultaneously allowed the worship of other deities to flourish within the very walls of his own domain. This contradiction exposes a divided heart, a reality that can afflict anyone, even ourselves. We often pour our time and energy into crafting a life that appears perfect to the world, yet we neglect what nourishes our soul and sustains our faith. Solomon serves as a mirror, prompting us to reflect upon our own struggles. Are we prioritizing what truly matters? Amidst our myriad tasks and obligations, are we tending to our relationship with God? Another crucial aspect is the consequence of the lack of unwavering faith during Solomon's reign. His compromised spiritual life directly impacted his governance and his people. The kingdom began to disintegrate after his death, and the promises God had made concerning him were contingent upon his faithfulness, which he ultimately failed to uphold. This reality underscores that faith is not merely a personal matter, but permeates all facets of life, extending its influence to families, communities, and nations alike. In our contemporary era, characterized by rapid technological advancements and the ubiquitous flow of information, the endeavor to preserve faith presents a formidable challenge. We are incessantly bombarded with a plethora of ideas, ideologies, and values that can obfuscate our perspective and lead us astray. The saga of King Solomon elucidates that the mere possession of wisdom or knowledge does not inherently guarantee a steadfast and unwavering faith. Rather, it necessitates vigilance and deliberate choices. Moreover, his narrative underscores the significance of being mindful of the relationships we cultivate. Solomon was directly influenced by those around him, a reality that ultimately led to his downfall. This compels us to introspect. What is the state of our relationships? Do they bolster our spiritual commitment or lead us astray? Having individuals by our side who both uplift us and challenge us to grow in faith is crucial to prevent us from stumbling along the path. Modern life bombards us with distractions, and it's common to feel our hearts torn, much like Solomon's. We may yearn to please God, yet simultaneously succumb to societal pressures, the allure of success, and the craving for recognition. The lesson is clear. We must daily choose where we place our hearts, for where our heart lies, there our faith will follow. Though Solomon fell from grace, he is not an example of complete defeat, but rather a human being who faltered and through his failings can teach us profound lessons. His story serves as a mirror to our own internal struggles, alerting us to the dangers of pride, complacency, and negative influence. Furthermore, it calls us to seek a faith that does not rely solely on circumstances, success, or achievements, but rather is founded on genuine love for God and daily surrender. The secret to retaining faith, therefore, lies in cultivating a genuine and unwavering spiritual life, where prayer, study, meditation, and fellowship play pivotal roles. Solomon demonstrated that even the most profound wisdom, devoid of this foundation, is tenuous and susceptible to collapse. Consequently, the call for us is to never become complacent, even in moments of triumph, for faith demands continual care and growth. We can also glean from Solomon's story the assurance that even in our failures, God is ready to receive us, restore us, and renew us. Divine mercy is inexhaustible, and there is always a path toward a fresh start. Thus, the tale of the wise king is, above all, a story of hope, where wisdom is learned through missteps and transformation is attainable for all. In closing, I leave you with a thought. How are you tending to your faith? What attitudes can you transform to fortify your connection with God, even amidst challenges and temptations? The example of Solomon reminds us that no one is immune to spiritual crises, but that with diligence, humility, and perseverance, we can overcome any obstacle. If you enjoyed this video and found it to be of value to your life, I invite you to join our community of faith. Subscribe to the channel to receive more content that will fortify your spirit and broaden your perspective. Know that you are not alone here, and your story is deeply meaningful to us. Therefore, share in the comments what resonated most with you in this video. Tell us a little about your journey, and feel free to express your questions and insights. Together, let us grow, weaving a tapestry of support and truth. Thank you so much for being here with me until now. May your faith be renewed each day, and may you live a life brimming with purpose, illumination, and wisdom. Until we meet again.